On September 24th, at the Arden Villas residential complex, family members of Miya Marcano encountered a significant physical and forensic anomaly. Upon arriving at the residence after failed attempts to establish communication, it was observed that the primary entrance was secured. Although a spare key successfully engaged the external lock, the door remained immovable due to the internal engagement of the deadbolt. This state of internal fortification suggests that the occupant, or an intruder, had secured the premises from within. The subsequent entry revealed a scene characterized by situational inconsistencies. While the victim was known for maintaining a high degree of order, her bedding was disturbed, and personal effects were found in a state of disarray. Notably, there were no immediate signs of forced entry or physical struggle. However, an unsecured window provided a potential point of egress, complicating the initial theory of a locked room disappearance and suggesting a calculated exit by a third party. Ms. Marcano, a university student and an employee within the leasing office of her own residential complex, resided in an environment perceived to possess robust security infrastructure. The Arden Villas advertised a professional perimeter comprising high-definition surveillance, encrypted electronic access controls, and a vetted staff. These measures were intended to mitigate traditional vulnerability factors associated with residential safety. However, the case highlights a critical failure in institutional trust. The systems designed to exclude external threats simultaneously provided a predator with legitimate internal access. This security paradox suggests that the very infrastructure meant to protect the victim was utilized to facilitate the crime, transforming a place of sanctuary into a site of unavoidable risk. The primary suspect, Armando Caballero, was a 27-year-old maintenance employee with authorized access to the facility. Investigative findings indicate that Caballero had previously attempted to initiate a personal relationship with the victim, which she had explicitly declined. In behavioral terms, this rejection appears to have served as the catalyst for escalating predatory behavior. Caballero utilized the gray zone of professional interaction, leveraging his role to justify unsolicited communication and proximity. Most significantly, his position granted him possession of a master key. This tool neutralized the victim's primary defense, allowing the suspect to bypass physical barriers without the necessity of force. The crime was thus facilitated not by a lapse in technology, but by the inherent vulnerabilities of administrative access. Digital forensics provided a precise timeline of the events surrounding the disappearance. Ms. Marcano's professional shift concluded at 1700. Data logs from the building's electronic access system indicate that a master key card, assigned to maintenance, was utilized to enter her residence at 1706. This 6-minute interval indicates a highly coordinated and time-sensitive operation. The absence of auditory disturbances or reported conflict during this period suggests a rapid neutralization of the victim. The use of official infrastructure to commit the act characterizes this not as a spontaneous incident, but as a systematic breach of safety protocols. The gap in the timeline underscores the efficiency with which a perpetrator with legitimate access can operate within a monitored environment. Following the victim's disappearance, of a concerned colleague. This behavior may be categorized as the arrogance of access, wherein the perpetrator finds a sense of control or gratification in observing the investigation from within the social circle of the victim. By maintaining a presence at the scene, the suspect likely believed his professional reputation would serve as a sufficient mask. This hubris allowed him to monitor the family's distress firsthand, further illustrating a narcissistic fixation on the victim and a profound disregard for the consequences of the event. The investigation concluded with the discovery of Ms. Marcano's remains on October 2nd in a wooded area near the Timberscan Apartments. The state of the recovery site indicated a deliberate effort to conceal the body. However, the legal resolution of the case was precluded by the suspect's actions. Armando Caballero was found deceased in his own residence several days prior and committed suicide. The suspect's death effectively terminated any potential for criminal prosecution or a comprehensive interrogation regarding his motives. The case was subsequently closed based on the overwhelming weight of electronic and circumstantial evidence linking Caballero to the abduction and death of Ms. Marcano. The apartment enigma serves as a definitive case study in the failure of internal security protocols. The investigation reveals that while the primary entrance remained locked from the interior, the perpetrator exploited professional credentials and architectural knowledge to evade detection. This event highlights the necessity for more rigorous oversight regarding master key distribution and the psychological vetting of employees with high-level access. The case of Miya Marcano demonstrates that the perception of safety provided by modern security systems is often contingent upon the integrity of those who manage them. It remains a stark reminder that the most significant threats to residential security may reside within the very systems intended for protection.